Well, hello, welcome again to our reading of Plato's Crito, and I got up to this section here, which in the numbering system is 47D and line 7, and in my system I'm going to call this chapter 8, or rather Adams's system. So Sokrates continues on with this argument regarding, or this metaphor that he's using regarding someone who is training physically and whether they should get advice from an expert in physical training or rely on the opinion of the many. And he's going to flip this from being regard to the body over to in regard to the soul. And he does this, well, fairly subtly and perhaps slightly vaguely. As well, I'll leave you to think about and to look at commentaries on. So he simply says, "Fere dei ean to hypotu hogi enu, men beltion gignomenon hypotu nosodus de diaphteromenon de olesomen pethomenoi me, te ton ep a ionton doxe, ara bioton hemenestin diaphthamenu autu esti depututosoma uki." So fairy day, come then. Now it's ean, so if, now the subject here is to genomenon, and it's fairly vague, if that, so it's referring here to the body, I think. So if that which is becoming beltion, better, on the one hand, by means of wholesomeness, by that which is wholesome, or by wholesome means. The men has been delayed here, as will the debt be in the next part. So come then, if that which is being made better by wholesome means, but is, have to understand again, that which is being ruined or impaired by that which is unwholesome. This is to do with health, cognate with our word hygiene. So by healthiness, so I would say perhaps wholesome means, and this is to do with disease, so I'm going to translate this as unwholesome means. So if all that is true, now this is a subjunctive here from di olumi, a subjunctive here, so it's something like, would we ruin, would we impair, understand ourselves, so will we, it's a subjunctive, would we be impaired, trusting, well, now the word order is slightly odd here. It's probably meant to be taken as literally trusting in the opinion which is not that of the experts. It's the same as saying not trusting in the opinion of the experts, but probably was meant to have the sense of trusting in that, in the opinion, sorry, trusting in that which is not the opinion of the experts. So if we do that, and then we get ara introducing a question, and now bioton means livable, and so it's literally, is it livable for us? So I'm going to paraphrase that in what comes up is life worth living for us? Is it worth our while to live? When it, genitive absolute here, when it, here it must be referring to the body, as is made clear in the next bit, if it is injured or impaired. Esti depututosoma, slightly vague here. It's something like, literally, this is perhaps in regard to the body. So this thing is perchance the body. That is, in this I am referring presumably to the body. And then he says, Auki, or is it not? Now the ancients had quite a different attitude towards disabilities than we do. So for the ancient world, living with a physical disability was not looked upon by the Greeks in the same way as in our modern world. and you may recall in Herodotus book 1, I think it is, the king has two sons, one of whom is disabled, and he doesn't even recognise him as his own son. So it's to be taken in an historical context here. So Crito says nigh, a yes. Socrates continues on with this argument here. Ar un bioton heimin estin metamoktheru kai diaphthamenu somatos. So again, the question is, therefore, is it worth living for us? Is it livable for us? Is life worth living for us with moktheru? It's with, well, it's something like afflicted. So the meta goes with somatos. So with an afflicted, or perhaps burdensome might be better for moktheru, with a burdensome and injured body and damaged body. So is life then worth living for us with a burdensome and damaged body? And Crito says, Eudemos, no, it's not, by no means. Ala metekenu arhemin bioton diaphthamenu, hoi to adikon men lobatai, todidikaion oninesin, ephaloteron hegumatha enai, to somatos ekeno, hoti pot estin ton hemeteron, peri he te adikia kai he dikia suna estin. Just move this up a little bit. So he now says, but is life livable for us with ekeno, with that thing? And it's not clear whether he's referring here to the body or the soul. So he's going to shift from one to the other very subtly here. So, but is life worth living for us with that thing corrupted, that thing damaged, that thing, now we get a dative here after the lobata, I think, that which wrongdoing, lobatai, injures, but doing the right thing, oninesin, is of benefit to. Now this is a verb. This is from oninemi. It's a me verb. Oninesi. Oninemi is to do benefit to be useful. You get abstract nouns like oninesis and so on, but this is the verb here, oninemi, if you're looking it up. Just to do that again quickly. So, but is life worth living for us when that thing is ruined? That thing which justice, or doing the right thing, doing the wrong thing, that which injustice injures, from this is from lobatamai, but doing the right thing is of benefit to. Or do we regard that thing, again it's vague, this is the conduct of the soul perhaps, do we regard that thing to be worse or inferior to the body, or of lesser account than the body? And he tries to pin it down a little bit, but it's still very vague. That which, so it's sort of whatever here for hoti pot. So whatever part it is of us. So whatever part of us it might be. It's quite vague here. So he's trying to get from the body to the soul. So he's got introduced this ekeno. So do we regard it, this vague thing, as being inferior to that of the body? That which is, so whichever part of us it might be, purposely vague, peri hot he te adikia kai dikia sune estin, about which there is injustice and justice. So again, very vague. I think it means about which justice and injustice are concerned. So moving from physical health, moving to the concept of that which is unjust and that which is just. Oudemos, by no means, says Crito, and Sokrates replies, alla timioteron, but is it more precious? Poluge, very much so. Socrates continues on, uk ara o beltiste, panuhemin huto frontistion, ti erusin hoi poluhemas, al hoti ho ep aion periton dikaion kai adikon, hohes kai aute he aletheia. And accordingly, o beltiste, my good sir, my good friend, it's always hard to translate this, it means o best one. So accordingly, now we've got an uk is going with the verbal adjective again. So then, or accordingly, my good man, we should not give, so that's for the hamin, we should not give so much thought, so it's very much in this way, so we should not give so much thought to what the many will say to us. Allah, but hoti, it's for hoti, there's two words here but written as one, I think, but that which the expert understands says, periton, regarding just things and unjust things. This one person, hohes, and truth itself. Hosti proton men taute uk orthos eis agege, eis egumenos tes ton pollen doxes dein hemas frontis dein, periton dikaion, kai kalon, kai agathon, kai ton in antion. I'll just move this up here, so that first of all, taute again is these feminines, so you've got to supply something like hodo or something. So in this way, so first of all, in this way, not rightly did you propose, did you introduce it. So this is from eis hegeomai, this is the second person singular. It means to bring into or lead into, and hence it comes to bring into an argument, and hence it comes to mean to propose an idea into an argument. So this bit here says, so that firstly, in this way, you did not make a correct proposition, proposing that it was necessary, this is the infinitive, so proposing it to be necessary for us to give thought to, and then taking a genitive here, the opinion of the many regarding that which is just and noble and good and their opposites. Alamende phae gan tis, hoie te asin, hemas hoi poloi apok te nunai. So this now says, but he says, but, and this is inverted commas here, but indeed someone might say, optative here from the verb to speak, from phemi, but indeed someone might in fact say, the many, this is the hoius to ami idiom, the many are able to put us to death, apoktenunai hemas. Now this is not from apokteno, but from an alternate verb, apoktenumi. It's a me verb with this corresponding infinitive here. If you happen to be looking it up, it's just an alternative for apokteno, the normal word for to kill. It's apoktenumi, I think, grammatically here. De la de kai tauta. These things are evident, O Socrates, that someone would say, you are speaking the truth. The editors put semicolon and full stop here, made it into 3 different sections. There are other alternatives, but I'll just translate what's there. So this is indeed evident that for one might say that, O Socrates, you are speaking the truth. Al o thaumasie hutos te hologos hon eleluthamen emoi gedoke eti homoios einai kai proteron. Come, now thaumasie is hard to translate. Perhaps you strange fellow, or perhaps just my worthy friend. It's hard to translate this exactly. It means a strange one. This argument, which this is perfect from Diurchomai, which we have already gone through, and the dia has the sense of thoroughly, which we've already discussed thoroughly. It seems to me, in fact, to be still homoios, well, still the same, also as the previous one. So we would say as the former one. Kai tondi de au scope a eti heman a u hoti u totsein periplestu poetion alla tot utsein. So, but examine again, tondi, from the previous page, this argument. If still, mene heimin, it holds for us. Now, mene means to remain, but in the context of an argument, if it still holds good, if it still remains valid. For us, a u or not, that, and now again we get a verbal adjective, this gerundive here from poio, and with this expression poio with peri placed to regard as very important, to hold in high regard. So have a look again, if the argument still holds for us or not, that one must not regard life as most important. So one must not regard life as of the highest importance, but to utsein, but to live well, to live a good life. Alamene, yes, it does hold, it still holds, he says. And Socrates says, tot diou kai kalos kai dikaios hoti tauton estin mene a u mene. So does it hold or does it not hold? Understand that. Now I think you've got to supply it saying here, really, to make sense of this, that living well and living nobly and justly. Now, the Greek says it is the same, we would say they are the same. So does it hold or does it not hold that living well and nobly and justly, that these are all the same, that these are the same things? And Crito says, mene, yes, it holds. And that's the end of this section.